So I've been walking around this disc golf course thinking, why the hell do people play regular golf? I mean, and you have to pay $1 billion for equipment, plus greens fees and everything else. I don't get it. And I mean, not only that, it's a terrible waste of land. Most of the time, you put a golf course out there, you gotta water it, you gotta do all that sort of stuff to it. And for what? And so you can have some nice grass to putt on? I mean, it's a giant, giant waste of land. More land than you need for about anything else. And in its space that it takes to put in 1, maybe 2 good regular golf holes, you're gonna have an entire disc golf course. It's just weird to think that someone would pay money for a company to destroy the land like that. And it's just stupid. You know what? It occurs to me that regular golf courses are really destructive in other ways too. I mean, they really, really destroy what was already there. I mean, could have been a forest, could have been an agricultural field. Well, if it's an agricultural field, that doesn't matter so much. But it really destroys forest lands and anything natural that was there before. I mean, if you can just sort of look at the area around me, yes, it's sort of a thin strip of forest, or a thin strip of wooded land, or whatever you want to call it. But it's natural. It's what was here before. I mean, no one's had to mow it down. They've left most of the old growth trees here. That's something you couldn't do on a regular golf course. You couldn't leave all the old growth trees there, no matter where they were at. You'd have to cut most of them down. Now sure, disc golf tends to wreak havoc on young trees. I admit that. And every time you throw a disc into a bush or a clump of small trees, something's gonna get hurt. But you're not tearing the whole tree down. You're not covering the land in a thin coat of grass just so that you can, you know, cover it with chemicals again. Not only covering the land in thin coat of grass, you're covering the land in chemicals because you gotta water the grass, you gotta fertilize the grass. It just doesn't make sense. On top of the bag and the balls and the club, and those balls are expensive. They pay for as much for a pack of 3 balls sometimes as I do for a disc. A disc lasts me 2-3 years. I mean, sitting in the trunk of my car, getting beat on, getting abused. I mean, and if I'm lucky, it lasts even longer than that. Now, I admit, the idea for pure golf is a great one. Hit a ball using a stick, a little thingy on the end, at a hole. Perfectly fine. I just think it should be kept to mini golf sort of things. Or if you're gonna do it, make them do it with 1 or 2 clubs and in a much, much shorter course. St. Andrews, where golf was invented, isn't that big of a course. It's just one big field, and it's been mowed down a lot over time. I say let it grow back up again. Make golf challenging by making it shorter courses, but with, you know, less in the way of, you know, bunkers and that sort of thing, but more in the way of sand and high grass and that sort of stuff. And, you know, if you make the course shorter, there will be fewer shots needed, and there will be less land used, and you transfer some of that back to natural refuge. I mean, you can't put a regular golf course in an area that is a wildlife park or whatever. You need to change the area too fundamentally. Where you can put a disc golf course in, you know, especially a short 9-hole one in a couple acres inside your park. I mean, I've seen multiple parks do it. They buy a whole bunch of land, and part of that is old farmland. And so they'd relegate that corner or that little section of disc golf, the park to disc golf. And I've seen parks put in disc golf courses in sandy areas, not grassy areas, very, very dry and rocky areas. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've seen disc golf courses that this would be a very open shot and going straight back into the woods. I mean, they left all the trees up, just they mowed around them, let you find a way through. Now, regular golf can't do that, I think. And if you're going to use some land for multi-purpose use, you know, walking or whatever trails, you could put a disc golf course in there with very little extra. I mean, you don't need concrete tee pads or anything else. Just some gravel, little box to put around it, and some signs, and the disc catchers. And a couple $1,000 would get you a whole new disc golf course. Oh well, that's my little rant over. I guess I will catch you guys next time.